Whole town swept away.
This is the town of Rikuzentaka. There were 24,000 people here. And look at the way every house is just being washed away. And look at the building in the front and see what happens as this wave of water, which in some places is up to 10 metres high, hits the building.
And we have no sense as yet as to the number of people who may or may not have still been in this particular town. Let's go to the second images here.
This is Miyako Port.
Now,
here
what strikes you looking at these images? That the waves do not seem very high, but it is the force.
The water is shallow, but it is the force of it, as it's being driven by the power of this huge volume of water behind it, surging towards the coast, that causes this massive destruction. Now watch here, this is a little bit further inland. This is up near Sendai, the main city which is closest to the epicenter of the quake. And this vast wall of debris, you can see boats in the bottom right-hand corner here, as it comes towards this canal and just literally overflows it. And it's this debris which is the really most dangerous part of this, because anything in the path of the debris gets smashed to pieces by all the wreckage. And just watch the way it's relentless. It just goes forward across the fields, this great surge of water. Here's this big boat again in the top of the screen now, and watch this boat as it comes around here.
Because at that speed, you feel as though the wave is about to stop.
But it doesn't.
It
Look,
just
you can see cars just
moving
in front of it, just trying to escape away from it. It is almost biblical in its proportions. And it doesn't stop. It keeps coming. This is just a continuous shot. And even the fires that have started burning are picked up and carried by the water as they get pulled along. Now watch now as the camera pulls out, and you can see it beginning to engulf a few buildings on the right-hand side. But at the bottom here again, here is this boat we saw earlier being carried along. In the foreground now, just at the bottom of the screen, an articulated lorry. Just below the bottom of the screen is the road where we saw those cars running along. And watch how the lorry is just picked up and taken away. And then just carry on watching for a moment or two here as well. There's the boat being pushed along past the buildings. And look up, further up, you can now see the sheer extent of all of this. Up at the top of the screen, the rest of the water coming across.
And you can see people trying to escape. There's someone
driving
away there.
Watch the car on the very
right-hand
right-hand side of the screen as it tries to escape and then realizes that they can't escape because the debris and the wall of water is already pushing itself across the road. And on the right-hand side, very faint, there's a person running along the road on the right-hand side of the screen. It is quite an extraordinary sense of just the way that this tsunami just floods in and doesn't stop. It just goes on and on and on, utterly terrifying.